I want to leave these jokes alone. Of course, tell your young girls not to pay attention to that. Before we get, no, I want to bring Selvin on and then do the video and of course, Selvin, who is our illustrious Booster president. He has a little brief story. All right, Selvin, they proud of you in your hair. Go out, man. Hey, they didn't do that when I came in.
And they probably do that because you were late. Yeah, I know. I'm going to do better. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. I was telling Eddie this morning, and it really touched me last Friday. I was sitting there and I got a phone call. That's not unusual. I get a lot of phone calls. And this gentleman called me. He was from Atlanta. He says, I just wanted to let you know that I've been watching you all on 220 on YouTube. And I just got off the internet where I bought my life membership, $750. He said that I'm going to promise you that I'm going to donate at least $1,000 a year. So I was just flabbergasted that the fact that we have people that watch us every week. And so I'm going to talk to those YouTube people that's watching us now or be watching us later on to extend the invitation to you. You can do as my friend in Atlanta did. You can become a member of the Rattler Boosters and make a contribution to help us. You go to www.famurattlerboosters.com and you will get all the information, how you become a Rattler Booster or how you could make a contribution. And as my treasurer reminded me this morning, that all contributions that you make to Rattler Boosters are 100% tax deductible. So I know April 15th is coming close. I think we got 2 extra days this year. So you're at that point where you're trying to get your charitable contributions. So this would go to www.famurattlerboosters.com and make a contribution to Rattler Boosters to help us help our young men and young women, student athletes at FAMU. My treasurer also reminded me that if you are new and you join the Rattler Boosters, you're going to get a 15-month period where you won't have to pay any more dues. You won't pay dues anymore if you join now until July 1st, 2024. Now, if you're already a member, then you don't have to pay again until July 2024 because you're just paying early. So please, I'm going to ask you to help me help our student athletes. Now, at this time, as I normally do, I would just give an update for our sports team. Tennis is here. You're probably going to hear a lot from Coach Nikki about what's been transferred, how they've been. But I'll just tell you that we swept Bethune-Cookman last weekend. All right. Currently, you're looking at the first place Eastern Division team. We are 8-0 in SWAC play. And we have the most outstanding SWAC athlete, women's tennis player, Sarah Rakeen. Sarah, you there? Sarah, all right. Congratulations. The next tennis match is going to be, you don't have to go far. It's going to be at FSU, April the 8th at 3 o'clock. So those are highlights for my tennis team. Moving on to softball. Softball swept Mississippi Valley last week. We dropped a 6-5 real close game to Jacksonville University over Jacksonville last night. But the SWAC team is in first place in the Eastern Division. They have an 8-4 record, but it's a 3-way tie with softball. And we're tied with Bethune-Cookman and Alabama State. Michaela Irvis, currently, yeah, that's your great niece, right? That's Pat and Shirley's great niece. And Michaela is second in the nation in triples. She's the only HBCU softball player that's ranked. She has 6 triples so far this year. Next up is Alabama A&M. They're gonna be in Huntsville. They're gonna start on Friday, and there will be a doubleheader on Saturday. Our men and women track team last week participated in the Pepsi Florida Relays in Gainesville. And we had 5 of our 6 athletes that participated came out with their best times. So they set up their own personal best records in day 2 of that event, of that track meet. Next up, they will be at the Alice Coachman Invitation to Track Meet in Albany. And that's next weekend. Going to men's golf. Our golf team were at the University of California San Diego Invitational, where the ending score was 870, and they finished 14th. We had one player, Jacob Uyesato, and I'm probably butchering his name, so I'll spell it for you. Uyesato. He was named the SWAC Outstanding Performer for the week, and this is his second time getting that award. Next up is a Big Blue Intercollegiate Tournament, which is on April the 10th. And I'm not sure where the Big Blue, but I'm thinking Nashville, Tennessee, but I'm not sure about that one. Baseball, currently it's a 3-way tie for first place in the Eastern Division. We're tied with Alabama State and Bethune-Cookman. We all have a 7-2 conference record. We will start a 3-game series with Jackson State, starting on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we want to root for our you think about it, first place solely in first place with tennis, tied for first place in softball, tied for first place in baseball. So, hey, we're doing quite well in our spring sports. And last but not least, our cheerleaders. Our cheerleaders will participate in the National Cheer Association and National Dance Association College Nationals. Now that's going to be held at Daytona this weekend. So we got a full array of activities for our athletes. So where you can, let's go out and support them. And if you are computer savvy, like Mr. Jackson here, you can always go to FAMUathletics.com and you could find out what the latest score is and what's the results are. So again, thank you for everything that you do to help our student athletes at Florida A&M University.
Thank you, Selby. So that we don't be late, I'd like for you to, pick it up a little bit. Okay, Coach, we got a 2-minute video.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Can they see it? Can you guys see it? I don't think they can see it over there, can you? Maybe you can make some of these guys get up so you can. Are you okay? Okay, I think they want to get back. Okay. All right, so 2 minutes, Coach, we'll be on the way.
Let me preface this video with the advance warning that I had to get this video. What you're going to see is the actually uncut video of the unveiling of the Althea Gibson statue at Arthur Ashe Park, site of the U.S. Open in Flushing, New York.
I'm Dr. Scudder Durden, and I'm a proud graduate of Florida A&M University. And what brings me here today is the unveiling of the Althea Gibson statue. She is also a graduate of Florida A&M, and yesterday would have been her 92nd birthday. So we are all so happy to be here. Thank you.
It makes us feel great, you know, like just to see something like this and someone of, you know, her background and where she came from and how she's being, you know, celebrated today and, you know, with the statue, I think it's great and it makes, you know, it makes a big change.
She's an amazing athlete. She played on the LPGA in 1964. She was the first African-American person of color to play on the LPGA. I mean, this woman is extraordinary and that she deserves this attention. And also she'll inspire. If people really learn her story, like Eric's talking about, believe me, it'll inspire them to do great things with their lives.
Ron, it was a very inspirational moment for me to hear these great tennis giants talk about the ultimate giant of women tennis being this FAMU graduate, Althea Gibson, talking about how she inspired them, motivated them, trained them, and played with them throughout her career, and how that culminated in her being, you know, honored with this statue here in front of Rattler Stadium. It's just amazing. For all the Rattlers out there, this is the best day for all of us. One of her dear colleagues put it this way: she's looking over Arthur Ashe Stadium. She's a pioneer. She is the Jackie Robinson of tennis, not just women's tennis. She opened the door to Arthur Ashe, Venus Serena, all the other players who spoke today. It's just phenomenal when you think about what this Rattler did for the history of tennis and for the present day tennis in this nation and around the world.
Ron mentioned the advance notice. I don't know why he mentioned that. I called him at 10 o'clock this morning and told him, find some video on that. I'm gonna add to that video some great pictures of her when she was a student here at Florida A&M University. Coach Nikki, did you make that trip? Were you able to make that trip? Okay, next time they recognize that no matter anywhere on the planet, you just let the 220 and the boosters know and we'll get your private plane. All right. I am honored, folks, to introduce a young lady who's going to do great things for Florida A&M University, the head tennis coach, Miss Nikki. I'm gonna say just Coach Nikki, so I don't know.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Again, I'm thankful for Mr. Jackson to invite us here to talk about our tennis program. I'm always glad to bring these young ladies here to see our donors, who are our alumni, who give back to our program throughout the season. We definitely appreciate it, and we thank you for all that you do for athletics and for specifically the tennis program. So I appreciate it. These young ladies have done a very good job this year. They have been hardworking on and off the court. In the fall season for their academics, there was like a 3.3 in their GPA. They're definitely trying to strive to do better for the spring, and that's something that we're always striving to do, is get our GPA up during the academic year. On the court, these young ladies have been doing really well. I mean, like you stated earlier, we have player weeks. Sarah was this week, we had Genesis one week, we had Reagan another week. So these young ladies are doing what needs to be done on the tennis court. As stated before, we are 8-0 in the conference. We have one more match in the conference against Prairie View on Tuesday. And if these young ladies do what I know they're supposed to be doing, we will be the sole regular season champions. So that is one of the goals that we kind of set. And each day, these young ladies are trying to make sure that we achieve that. This past Saturday, we did beat Bethune, which solidified our #1 seed in the conference tournament when we played in SWAC. So our SWAC tournament is April the 21st through the 23rd. With that #1 seed, we do get that first bye. It is a single elimination, but these ladies are hungry and they are ready to go and bring that championship back to the Hill. So with all that being said, I want these young ladies to come up and introduce themselves, tell them where they're from and what they are majoring in.
Good afternoon. My name's Rebecca Gaines, and I'm a freshman from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I'm majoring in graphic design.
Hi, I'm Reagan Harris. I'm a freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina, and I'm majoring in health science.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Rakim. I'm from Morocco, and my major is bio-pre-med, and I'm a sophomore.
Hi, everyone. My name is Genesis Whitelock. I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida, and I'm a freshman in political science pre-law.
Greetings. I am Sierra Sandy, a second-year psychology major from Woodbridge, Virginia.
Yeah, we have a very young team. We have a bunch of freshmen and transfer sophomores, and a returning sophomore, and then we have 3 young ladies that are not here. One is a sophomore, Veronica. We have a grad student, Claudia, and Susan, that is a junior. All of them have classes right now. So again, we have a young team. We're excited with the team we have, and we're laying that foundation, and we're excited for the rest of the year. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? I'm sorry. Yes, the tournament will be in New Orleans. Anyone else? Will do.
Ladies, which one's going to be the next Althea Gibson?
I did one from North Carolina. I did the select A&M.
So your question is, why do we choose Florida A&M over NCAT? I chose Florida A&M really because of Coach Nikki. She's head coach, Black woman. I love that, and that's why I chose. I wanted to leave. I knew I wanted to leave out of state. My mom got her second degree from North Carolina A&T, and I just knew. My sister just graduated from North Carolina Central University playing tennis also. So I knew I wanted to go to an HBCU, but I knew I wanted to leave North Carolina. So.
My reasoning is kind of the same because I grew up around A&T like my whole life. Both my parents went there, grandparents, all that. So I was like, I kind of need a change, and I wanted to go away from home. I didn't think I would end up in Florida, but yeah, and also the tennis program here. Like, I saw that the team was mostly Black, so I wanted to come.
I understand you can learn a lot from tennis by watching tennis on TV. I watch the tennis channel a lot. Do you do that? It's great. I've been watching all of the series. You guys have access to it. Okay, then.
Coach, you need to let them know that if they want to come to the tournament, you got to do it this Saturday.
Yes, so again, we do have the #1 seed, so we do get a bye. So this tournament does start on a Friday, which is the 21st, but we don't play until this that Saturday, the 22nd.
Okay.
All right, thank y'all so much.
Hold on, Coach. I want to say I've been watching tennis on TV. And haven't played the game. I've noticed a few flaws in some of the backhands. So when they before they go to the tournament, I'll stop by. Now, on behalf of these good people, we want to present $500 check for the tennis program. You can buy a lot of balls and rackets and have enough left over for a new car. I have some more ones coming from Mr. and Mrs. Joe Kershaw, who couldn't be here today, but they will be. I'll get in touch with you. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Well, you got to leave because you have practice? What time is practice? I'll be over there to check you out. Before we hear from our great coach, I had a problem this weekend. Somebody put on Twitter that you had just signed a new 10-year contract at FAMU. My phone jumped off the hook about why I didn't let everybody know you were all set. And I told him, I told the university not to put that on Twitter. I wanted to keep that a secret. But Coach, you can answer that if you like to. Because I understand it was so believable because I think they had a quote in there from you. And one person called me, he was pretty upset. I haven't seen Broomfield so upset since I beat him in chess last game. But, and then he called me back later and said, hey, I read it again. It says April Fool. I want to make a quick announcement about next week. I've gotten a lot of comments about, Coach, how the players looked on Pro Day. And they were complimenting the equipment people. I'm not so sure what they all did. Maybe you can tell us just what everybody's excited about the good job they've done. Well, the equipment people and the trainers, you know, they don't get much recognition. So with Coach help, I'm gonna see if I can get all of the student trainers and all of the equipment managers here next week. And you know, I told you a couple of weeks ago we were taking a little break from fundraising. I never, you know, lie. But we're going to give each, I think it's a total of 16. And we're going to give each one a $50 check just to show our appreciation for the work they do on behalf of the sports teams. And I don't think they've ever really been acknowledged for the great work they do. Now, I'd like for you to contribute to this in any degree possible. I called Virgil Valdez, and of course, he was ready to pay it all. He was the trainer, you know, and Virgil does so much that I said, no, Virgil, we'll take care of it, but, you know, write as big a check as you can that don't include all of it. I'm not so sure how much we're going to need. Of course, if you could help me with this, we like to get all 16 of them here and just show them our appreciation for the great work that they've done. So, and now, of course, I don't know if you was here today. I talked about how they introduced Michael Jordan. And they say, and now, after everybody else has been introduced. See, well, maybe we can arrange for, I can get introduced like that. You go on first. Well, and now, the head coach of the Florida A&M University Rattlers, Coach Willie Simmons.
Thank you, Eddie. Good to see everyone. So before I talk about my April Fool's blunder, I will say this about Eddie. So of course we know that Eddie is probably the most humble person that we've ever met, and shows a lot of humility with everything, and never brags on himself, and never talks about the things that he's done. So never really puts himself in a position to have to apologize for much. And it's fitting that Coach Nikki was here with the team, because I do remember last year, and I don't know if it was early in the year or late in the year, he made a joke, and of course, you know, I never take offense to anything, and he made a joke after Nikki had talked, and I came up and he said something about, I don't know if you remember, something about a good coach, something like that along those lines. But he called back like a day or so later and apologized. I said, well, apologize for what? And so, you know, of course, the banter that we have back and forth, but I just, that made me think about that when Coach Nikki was here. But they're doing an amazing job, obviously, with the tennis team being undefeated, and we're definitely pulling for them to bring that championship home next week, well, in 2 weekends, I guess, after the spring game. So great to see the young ladies. And again, I was impressed by all the freshmen and young players. So obviously the future is very bright here, barring any transfer portal stuff and all that nature, which we all got to deal with these days. That's why sometimes it's a little bit frightening to bring a freshman here that plays really well. Not everybody takes notice, and then they start getting poached by other schools. But the good thing is we have such a great institution, such a great tradition and history that our students don't want to leave. And so everyone knows about Isaiah Land and his story from last year, entering the portal for about a week after the draft and getting poached by really every major school in the South, and a lot who offered a lot of money to bring Isaiah to their institution for this year. And he obviously turned them down to stay on the House of Seven Hills, and just proud of him and what he's been able to accomplish. Of course, everyone sees the good work that Xavier Smith has done as well. So definitely the athletic program is in great hands, and a lot of that's attributed to the job that you all do in supporting us. So continue to do so. And it's a great idea, Eddie, to recognize the support staff. Again, like you said, they don't get really any credit most of the time. Most of the time it's the players or the coaches who are receiving, all of the credit when it comes to our performance. But again, the way those guys were able to come out last week, confident, comfortable, because of how they looked. And then that is a real thing, right? People have that saying, you look good, you feel good, you play good. That's real. Everyone, again, the attitude of our players, you can tell now is a lot better, a lot different when they walk into the weight room and everybody's uniform. Everybody has on the same top, the same bottom, the same shoes. It makes you feel a certain way. right? It just makes you feel good that you're all uniform, that you're all on the same team and pulling for the same thing. So for those guys that go out 2 years in a row with custom shirts, with their names on the back, with their numbers on the back, their positions on the front, the scouts already knew who they were. But if there's a spectator who came, they didn't have to guess who Isaiah Land was, or who Xavier Smith, or Chris Waddule, or BJ Bowler is, because their name was plastered big on the front of their shirt, their position, and all those things. So again, that's a testament to the job that Donald Reed, our head equipment manager, and his team does. Obviously, the job that now Liz Balaam, our interim head athletic trainer, is doing. And so again, those students that come in every day, many not on any type of aid, to provide the resources for our young men to look the way they look, to feel the way they feel, is definitely something to be recognized. So again, Ed, I really appreciate you for taking that initiative, and we'll definitely do our best job to get as many of them here as we can. Obviously, some may have some class conflicts, but the ones who don't, we'll try to make sure we get them here, and I know they'll greatly appreciate that. So obviously, now to the April Fool's joke. So every year, I'm probably one of the few people left who still recognize April 1st. A few years ago, many of you remember, I kind of set the internet on fire by saying that LeBron James was in town, and that caught traction pretty quickly. I think I posted it at about 7:15. At about 7:40, I was getting a call from the Tallahassee Democrat. I was like, yeah, I think this one might have gone a little too far. So I had to quickly go ahead and tell everyone that wasn't true. I had some pretty upset people that day. They had taken off work. They said they were coming. I had people say they were driving from Orlando. It was a mess, and so we had to go ahead and nix that one quickly. So if you're someone who observes April Fool's Day, it gets increasingly difficult to fool people, right? Because it's April 1st. Everybody kind of knows that it's coming along, and what can you say that can be believable, right? And so after some thought that morning, I said, at first I was gonna say lifetime, but I said, well, that's too unbelievable. They're not gonna believe a lifetime contract, obviously. I said, but I'm gonna say the family's giving me a 10-year extension, and I started to put a dollar amount. I said that wouldn't be realistic. That wouldn't be believable. So I'm just gonna say a 10-year extension, and that probably went too far. I put a Bible verse up there, and so yeah, so it got some people fired up. So I said I was gonna let it go till noon, and then I was gonna go ahead and tell everyone it was an April Fool's joke. So for most people, Vaughn was in Arizona. Vaughn was in Arizona, and he called. So it was about 10. It was 10 a.m. here, which means it was 7 a.m. in Arizona, and he called, and I'm not gonna say what he said because we're live. But as he was calling, the date popped up on his phone, and so as soon as he saw April 1st, he knew right then. It was like, this joker is April fooling us again, and so it went over well for probably about 75% of Rattler Nation. They had a sense of humor. About 25% had to go to the prayer closet because they said some choice things about me playing like that. So I apologize to anyone who did get upset about it. No, I don't have a 10-year extension. I'm still contracted through 25 if my memory serves me correct. So I'm still here for a little while, so you don't have to worry about anything. But it was just all in fun and trying to stay young and do that. So but yeah, it was. I don't know what I'll say next year. I don't know. Start thinking about it now. So. First of all, it was a weekend. So, FAMU ain't doing any business on a weekend. That's first and foremost. It was a Saturday. Nobody's doing contract work on a Saturday at FAM. And so I thought there was enough little nuggets in there that let people know that this can't be real, with the date. So, but again, it was all in fun. But again, we also had our second scrimmage this past Saturday. And it's, I tell you what, I've been doing this now as a head coach for 8 years, but as a coach for 18. And it's the same probably everywhere I've been. If the offense has a great first scrimmage, the defense is going to completely tear them apart the next scrimmage. If the defense shuts the offense out the first scrimmage, it's going to be an offensive explosion the next one. So in true fashion, our first scrimmage, the offense made a ton of plays, moved the ball up and down the field, had its way with the defense, and came out Saturday, and the defense just completely just annihilated the offense. So much so the offense never scored one time, never got in the end zone. And now they did do some good. The first two drives, obviously, we actually drove the field. And so the way we do scrimmages, which is a little different than the spring game you'll see, or a real game, is in a scrimmage we want to play count, right? Because we have first team, second team, third team. So we'll say, okay, the first team is going to go 8 plays, and that's it. And whatever happens after that 8 play, the drive is over. We're going to go to the next group. And so the first team offense actually made some plays, converted some third downs. It was on the plus side of the field. It just so happened that they hit their 8th play on about the plus 30, right? So the offense probably would have scored. They had a really good rhythm going. Moose made some really big throws, and but then they came off. The second team came on, it's kind of same thing. They moved the ball, got down there, and then their 8th play was up, and then they came off. So in actuality, there may have been some scores had we played a real game type format. But after that, the defense pretty much said enough was enough, and they really put their foot down. And so a lot of it was really good defensive play. We have some guys, of course, we've seen Marquise Bell for the last, for 2 years here, and Isaiah Land has obviously been able to make his mark for 4 years here as marquee names. But we have some guys this year that I think are going to have the same type of impact. I tell you what, Kamara Stevens right now is playing like a man possessed. He just, his motor never stops. He's bigger than Isaiah. Kamara is probably 260, 265, about 6'3" as a defensive end, and but just a nonstop motor, just relentless effort. Never gets tired, and if he is tired, you wouldn't know it because that's just the way he plays. And I anticipate him having an amazing year. Of course, many of us know Isaiah Major, the job that he did last year, leading the team in tackles and just being a guy all over the field. He's having a great spring. And a guy that many don't know because he didn't have a chance to play last year is Jordan Moore. And Jordan Moore right now is playing at a level that I haven't seen in a long time. He's made a conversion from safety to linebacker. He was already a big safety when Jordan transferred here from Texas. He's from Texas, signed with Texas A&M out of high school, left A&M, went to University of Houston, and then left Houston and went to junior college, and we signed him out of junior college. So he played safety his whole career, got here as a big safety, probably 215 pounds. Well, we made the move to bump him down to linebacker, and he put on about 10 more pounds of muscle, and he's playing amazing. Had a pick six the other day, ton of tackles, ton of sacks, just all over the field. And so I'm really, really encouraged by the potential of our defense. And we probably have about 5 players right now who we hope will be with us in the fall that's currently not going through the spring. That may be for injury. So General Hunt, who obviously started at D-tackle for us for the last 2 years, General has not gone through the spring and won't because of surgery that he had in the offseason on his ankle. We anticipate him being back full speed. Dre Jones, the defensive end from last season, had offseason surgery on his shoulder. He's out the whole spring, his knee, I'm sorry. Devin Smith, a freshman linebacker from Jacksonville who has a bright future, has surgery on his shoulder, so he's out the whole spring, hadn't played. Eric Horn, one of our transfer linebackers from Iowa State, also from Jacksonville, had reconstructive surgery on his shoulder, so he's out this spring. So these are guys who have not played one snap this spring that we anticipate coming back on top of a group that's already deep and talented. Obviously, we just got a commitment from a defensive lineman a couple of weeks ago that came on a visit. We have 2 more defensive linemen coming to visit next weekend for the spring game. So again, we really anticipate having probably the best defense that we've had here since we've been here. And we've been playing really good defense the last 2 years. So really excited about that. And then offensively, the biggest thing is just just the execution part of it. When we don't self-inflict wounds, we move the ball, right? When we don't false start, when we don't get called for holding, we had some explosive plays in the game, the scrimmage on Saturday. All of them got called back because of a holding, which didn't need to occur, right? And so we can just play clean football, stay on side, not hold. We'll move the ball up and down the field on people. We're doing some really good things schematically. I got with Eddie in the off season, and we just sat there and he drew up some amazing plays for me. And man, I'm telling you, it's really gonna make you guys scratch your head this fall about some of the things we're doing and how we're able to get guys so wide open. That's one of the biggest things that we've seen with some of the newer things we're doing is that we have the ability to have guys running wide open, right? With a lot of the misdirection and all that kind of stuff. So really excited about where we're headed. The biggest question mark at this point is just still special teams. So we have a kicker that's coming in next weekend for a visit. And obviously we signed one that's coming in this fall. But right now we aren't really quite sure what our place kicking situation will look like until those guys get here. And then our snapper will be coming in as well. We already got a commitment from one. He'll be coming in this summer as well. And then Jose will be back mid-season. So not Jose, Lawrence, other snapper. So once we get those pieces back, we feel really good about our special teams phase as well. So we'll be a complete football team. I'm really encouraged about where we're headed. So of course we know this week will be our last kind of scrimmage situation. We'll come out Friday morning and we'll do a half practice, half scrimmage. It'll be early in the morning on Friday. Let the guys go home for Easter. And then we'll come back next week with Tuesday practice, Thursday practice. And then obviously the spring game will be next Saturday on the 15th. And so we'll split the teams up like we've done in the past. We got some low numbers on the defensive line. So we got to figure out, how to get through the game and not risk further injury by giving a guy too many snaps. We had a couple of defensive linemen. We're already thin. We had a couple that went down last scrimmage. Hopefully nothing too serious. And we'll hope to have them back by next week as well. But other than that, we'll give the guys a sneak preview. It'll be really watered down. You won't see any of the new stuff that we're doing. It'll just give you a sneak preview of some of the new players that we have, a lot of the transfer guys, and as we get prepared for the summer. So, but aside from that, Student Athlete Day is I think tomorrow. So we'll be there for that, celebrating our student athletes, and then obviously practice again. Tomorrow morning, then Friday morning before Easter. So, of course, as always, we'll open the floor for questions. And yes, sir. What's the rumor about Ocho? He is an official ambassador for the athletic department. Yeah, so that's not a rumor. That's official. That was announced at this point probably a month and a half ago, maybe longer than that. So not sure if he plans to be here next weekend or not. But his role is not football per se, even though that's what he played, obviously. His role is more so for the entire department. So he won't have an active role on our staff doing anything with the football program. So I think that's part of the misconception is that he's serving in some type of official football capacity. It's not. It's to be an ambassador for the entire athletic department. Yeah, boss.
Speaking on Ocho, I do have a question. How will he help the athletic program? Will he coordinate his work with the coaches, the athletic department? Like Gary was saying, we have heard about him as an ambassador, but nothing has come out or been said. What will be his
role?
His role to help the athletic, in the athletic department?
Right. So he doesn't have he won't be serving in any type of capacity to quote unquote help the coaches. Right. He's not an advisor. Right. That's Ed's job. So he's not replacing Ed anytime soon. But no, an ambassador just again, that's someone who just represents the athletic department, speaks on their behalf. So his involvement, his day-to-day involvement is not much. So again, he won't be traveling to New Orleans in 2 weeks with the volleyball team. He won't be at the softball championships. You know, he'll be in Miami because that's where he's from, but it won't be as a advisor to the football team. So his involvement is more so just to kind of be the face, so to speak, one of the faces of the athletic department in a social media capacity.
My question to you is this: with what you say about the kids playing football this fall, will we, do you think, and you can't answer this, you cannot answer this.
I can't answer a question that you're about to ask me. Okay.
My question is, and I thought we had a good chance last year of getting that signature win, but then we had the debacle at the beginning that threw us off getting that signature.
I think I know what you're about to ask. I'll say this. I feel as good about this team that we're putting together as any team we've had. And I think the sky's the limit as to what this team can accomplish. And so we do what we're supposed to do in the classroom, is obviously where it starts. So we can prevent any type of distraction that would prohibit us from being able to solely focus on the job we have to do. If we can prevent that, I think this season will be one that'll go down in history. And so the question that you're asking, I'm not going to answer it specifically, but I will say that I think they'll talk about this season historically, like some of the teams that Jake had to put together back in the heyday. So I feel that strongly about this football team. Yeah, so Isaiah Land did an interview yesterday, matter of fact, with NFL Network. So Steve Weish, not sure if you're familiar, Steve Weish is a Howard grad, worked for NFL Network. So obviously being an HBCU grad, he really takes great pride in trying to promote HBCU football players. And so he spent time at the Legacy Bowl. Bucky Brooks, there are a lot of individuals, a few individuals within the NFL Network and ESPN who kind of made it their point to highlight the marquee HBCU football players. So right now, Isaiah Land is obviously the marquee name. So he did an interview yesterday with NFL Network. They're talking about getting Xavier Smith on next to do one as well. And so those two guys right now, their names are buzzing within NFL circles, which is a good thing for them, good thing for us. And again, I wouldn't be shocked if one, maybe both, will hear their name called, in next month for the NFL draft. So, but yeah, that is a big accomplishment for Isaiah to get that interview with NFL Network yesterday. Destin Coates, yeah. So Coates, for some personal reasons outside of football, decided to hang it up. So he's a local guy, but he has a kid, and there's some other things that he had to take care of. But so no, Destin's not with us right now. So, and we don't anticipate him coming back. I think he's kind of graduated to that next phase of life, being a father, other important things to do outside of football. But no, he's still around, and once a Rattler, always a Rattler. So we definitely, we see him when we see him. We help him out how we can. But yeah, he's transitioned to that next phase. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned at a previous meeting about the update of the facilities for the football players.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if you had included a spot for Venom, Miss Venom, and the other ladies that's on this stage.
A spot in the field house?
A spot in the locker room that he could put his materials that he needs. What does he go to the bathroom?
You know what? That's a great question. I have no idea where Venom gets dressed. There's never been a question that I've been thought to ask the athletic department is where Venom gets dressed. So I've never heard him having an issue getting dressed anywhere. So it's probably the Lawson Center, I would assume. But I know Eddie and I have had some, and this is not a joke, but Eddie and I have had some discussions about what's the next phase of the field house to try to expand it. But I don't think we talked about a space for Venom doing that renovation. So But if he comes and says he needs some space, maybe we can accommodate him. But that'd be great. Venom and Miss Venom both. But no, we do have some. There are some discussions about doing some things for the field house in the near future. So, but there'll be that information will also be coming down the pipe. Yeah. I think that's a part of the mystique to not know who Venom is. Yeah. I mean, if I had to bet, I'd say it's Eddie. If I had to bet. But for some reason, I don't ever see Eddie on. I see everybody else on game day. I never see Eddie. So if I had to bet, is something you want to tell us, Eddie? You're in the president's box. Okay, that's maybe why I don't see it. But no, I think that's part of the mystique is the who Venom is. Now I've seen people who were Venom afterwards say that they were Venom, but I've never. It might be, but it might be a little dangerous for somebody to show who Venom really is at this point. Because I mean, they do some stuff on game day now. You know, they get into it with other mascots, and it gets a little physical at times. So yeah, it may be in their best interest to keep their identity a secret out. You know, but that is a good question, though. That is a good question. Any other questions? Oh, you got a question? You asked at the house. Tomorrow for Fish Thursday down at Grandma's house. Yes, ma'am. You know what? That is a great question, and I will check with AD Sykes about the concessions and of those things on Saturday.
But if I could write a check to somebody and get credit on income tax, I'll do 100. Ms. Hadley?
Yeah, that's a Selby question.
No, but you give more if you can write a check.
Okay. Well, I would encourage you to give. I can tell you how to spend your money, but I can ask you for it. And since you said you would write a check for at least 100, I'm gonna say, pull out your checkbook, make your check out to FAMU Rattler Boosters. And then in your memo section, whatever that you're gonna write it for, if it's for the trainers and the equipment people, right, the trainers and equipment, put that in your memo section. All right? And that's that. Now I was speaking directly to Ms. Hadley, but that goes to everybody else too. Okay, and you will definitely get your notice that you can use it for income tax purposes. Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Nah, if you're writing a check person to me, you can't put it for the boosters. That's got to come directly to Willie Simmons. I feel that. Any other questions? Thank you guys as always. Ms. Jerry, you got something? Oh, we got to pull. Sorry, we're pulling the names for the coaches. All right, let's take a few seconds to get some tickets. Hold on, you need the bag, Ms. Jerry? There's some tickets in here. Okay. Okay. Now the proceeds of this drawing they are coming to me. So now while you are drawing, I will tell you that if you win, you will have to give a pregame speech to one of the teams. Yes. So you will be in the locker room with the orange team or the green team, and you will be that honorary head coach. So I won't say a word. You will be standing there and giving and delivering that pregame speech. So that may make some of y'all want to put your ticket back. Some of them need a ticket. Somebody have a question or they need a ticket? Yes, sir. You know what? That is a question that AD Sykes will have to answer. So I'm not sure of the pregame, halftime, or postgame festivities. I do know the March 100 will be in attendance, and so I think they're doing something at halftime. But as far as pregame or postgame, I'm not sure of any activities that are associated with the cost of the ticket. But that is a good question for VP Sykes. All right, so we got them all. So I'm drawing out the bag or out of the. All right, a whole lot of tickets in here, Ms. Jerry. All right. So we're gonna go with the orange team first. Orange team head coach will be ticket number. Am I reading all of them or just the last three? Or I'll just read them all. All right. Ticket number 485-866. All right, there we go. We got a winner. We got a winner. Orange team head coach. Yeah, bring it up, Ms. Jerry. You want to verify for her? Make sure she ain't cheating. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Ms. Jerry trustworthy. I ain't give the edit, but. 866, we got a winner. Orange team head coach. You gotta say something for the crowd?
For the crowd? Just go Rattlers. What the hell?
All right. All right. So you got officially, today's Wednesday, you got 10 days to prepare your pregame speech. So you can look at you can YouTube some more videos of Eddie talking to the St. Pete teams, Little League teams. That'll give you the example of what not to say. All right, here we go. Head coach for the green team. All right, drum roll, please. 485-854. No way. 485-854. Well, all right, there we go. We know which team gonna have a stronger O line, isn't that right? All right. If it was Wilburs, we'd need to check it, but I try. We're good. All right, so we got our two honorary head coaches for the Orange and Green game. So look forward to seeing that pregame speech. Oh, Yanni? Yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well. So, now you got about a 50-50 chance to get him on your team. So yeah, we're gonna do the draft next Wednesday. All right, so we will have our draft, and I'll be back next week. But just a reminder, we'll have our spring game draft next Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. So it's gonna be live streamed. Okay, so Eddie and everyone who don't know how to get online and stream it, you just have to give them a quick tutorial. That's everybody. So, but we're gonna do a live stream through our athletic social media platform. So we'll have the whole team in the locker room. I'll be the commissioner, and we'll split the staff up, and those staffs will draft their players for the game on Saturday. So we're gonna have a whole production there. It's gonna be a really big deal. So we're gonna go from 6 to 7, streaming it live. So you'll get player interviews, coach interviews. So it's kind of up close and personal look at the draft. We did it last year. It was a huge success, and we thought it was something that we bring back this year. So next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Tune in live to our annual draft. So again, thank you guys. We appreciate it. As always. He don't have to be there. He can though. You're more than welcome to be there. Yeah, more than welcome to be there. So that'll be good for the guys to get to see once we draft them to see what team they'll be on. 6 p.m. at the Fieldhouse. Yep. So we're excited. But good deal. We appreciate you guys as always. Go Rattlers.
Coach, I just have two quick things to say. One, Braun was in town. That's what I call it, Braun. We go way back. We just couldn't let anybody know. He was over the house for dinner. Jerry, you back me up on that? Thanks. I've never been concerned for your job until now. Leroy gonna talk to the team. You're in trouble now. Remember the Selvin story about these people watching you guys on YouTube and sending money? Guy became a champion investor and sending $1,000 just because he appreciates what he's seeing on YouTube. So it pays to come. You need to come. Isn't there something in the church called sin? Yeah. If you can't come, send the $20 or we'll come out to your house and pick it up. Anyway, same time next week, same place. Thank you very much.